Hello, everyone. Nice to see you. My name is Shanda Wright. I am a senior coach here with She's Creating an Empire, and I can't wait to talk to you about personal branding today. I remember when I first started learning about personal branding and figuring out kind of what the importance of it was. I actually kind of went into the space kicking and screaming. I was like, Melanie, I don't want to do that. I've got this reason, this reason, this reason. And she's like, if you want what you say you want, you get to follow directions. And I am so grateful that I did. It was uncomfortable at first. It was scary. I didn't really understand the reasons why, but now looking back, it's been one of my favorite experiences for me personally as a human, but then also it's been such a dynamic blessing to my business and to the people that I get to work with on a day-to-day basis. So the first thing that I want you to do is that if you're watching live, put a 1. If you're watching replay, put a 2. And if you are, can you let us know where you're calling in from? Like, where are you in the world? I know there's people from all over joining us here today. Okay. Yes. So I want to give you a little bit of a picture from my experience with social media before meeting Melanie Greenough and being a part of She's Creating an Empire. Okay. So prior to She's Creating an Empire, I did have a Facebook page, but my boss made me get it. I kept getting in trouble because I was liking the wrong stuff. I never posted. And it's funny because when I see old Facebook memories from before when I met Melanie, oh my goodness, it was basically just bad jokes, like just bad jokes. Some of the stuff, I worked at a rock radio station. So there was a lot of like 70s rocker metal jokes, that and like inside jokes between me and a couple of other people. I never had more than 1 or 2 likes. I made friends, like I had some friends on Facebook. I think I had a couple hundred, but they were just professional people that I had met. I didn't actually know them. They didn't know me. And we certainly weren't going to work together. I love it. Okay. We got Utah, Kelowna. We got Texas, Las Vegas, Columbus. I know we've got Quebec in the house. North America's showing up. I love it, ladies. All right. So when it comes to, we got Nanaimo, we got Chicago. Hello. Okay. So that's where I was. I was frustrated with social media. I didn't really understand why they made me get it. I worked at a radio station. I was like, I don't want to. I don't need to. Like, I'm not cool like that. I thought it was a young kids thing. Now, the funny thing is I was young, but I hung out with and worked with people who were much older than me. I was becoming a professional. I didn't want to be 20. I wanted to be 35. I wanted to be a professional. I wasn't interested in the, kind of take pictures of your party on Friday nights. That wasn't what I wanted. It doesn't mean I didn't do some of that, but I didn't want it to be, I didn't need social media. I just thought I didn't need it. Okay. So then I started working with Melanie, and what she told me was a very interesting thing is that, I was in sales at a radio station, and she really wanted me to connect to my uniqueness, to connect to the things that made working with me special, that made working with me unique. And I knew there were some processes that I did that were a little different, but I didn't really understand. And how many of you guys, by a show of whys in the chat, have heard people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, right? Simon Sinek made this concept absolutely incredibly dynamic and well-renowned. There's like 22 million views on his TED Talk. And I was coaching my clients on this, but I wasn't living it. Right. And so that why, some people say your why needs to make you cry, or, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And she asked me to connect to why Shanda, not why radio, not why the Jim Pattison group, not why any of this, why Shanda. And I was like, well, I do this and I do that. She's like, yeah, but why do you do that? Why do you do that? Why do you show up the way that you show up? Why do you do the things for your clients that you do? Why do you ask the questions that you ask? And why do you think that those things matter? And I was like, well, because this. She's like, but why does that matter to you? And we got down to the fundamentals of really what makes me unique. And this is one of the things that I think should be taught in high school, because if I knew who I was, what I stood for, and what I stood against when I was 13, at least had some framework of it, I would have been so much less susceptible to peer pressure. And you go onto the internet, social media is peer pressure central, right? We've got to look perfect and filter this and go there and do that. And it's like, I just want to be me. And I remember hearing this song at the very first personal development conference I ever went to. And the lyrics said, I just want to be me. I just want to be free. and I just want to be all that I'm meant to be. And it rocked my world because that was truthfully what I was looking for in my entrepreneurial journey, in my personal development journey, and in this personal branding journey, was really just to be me and to be free to be me. But more importantly, to surround myself with people who loved that for who it was. And so I think personal branding can be a really cool tool for you to create a dynamic community, a dynamic friend circle, a dynamic global friendships. You can have friends across the world. I have people in Portugal that if I was there, I could go stay with them. Like, in what world? I've never even been there. It's so special what's possible. And this actually translates into in-person business. So if you've got a traditional business, maybe you're a fitness trainer and you're also doing online training, or you've got courses online, or maybe you're an in-person hairdresser, but you're also teaching stylists online. Maybe you've got, maybe you're just an in-person business, right? You're a realtor and you don't have any online income yet. Well, attracting leads from online, right? Something like more than 50% of the world is on Facebook. Like, we should probably learn how to talk to them there. So we can get leads for our in-person business, even online. Okay. So for all of you, I'm going to share kind of the process, the questions to ask. Do you need a personal brand? What value can it add to you? We're going to walk through it together. Okay. So I want you to have a pen and paper handy. I am going to share my screen. Yes, in person and online. I love it. Okay. Personal branding. Why do we need one? And where do we start? So, do you need one? Great question. The first thing that I want to go over is what a personal brand is not. Okay. It is not a logo. It is not a product. It is not a company. It is not a profile. It is not a post. It is not a business or business name. It is not colors or font. It is not graphic images or memes. You know, sometimes people have those, like, you know, a picture of them with a quote. Like, that's not a brand. Okay. This is not what we're talking about today. And it's not your company name or your name. Madonna made her name into a brand, but it wasn't a brand when she got her name. Okay. So that is what a brand is not. And I often see people who are brand new in business or brand new in branding focus on their logo or focus on their company or focus on their product, as opposed to understanding the fundamentals of a personal brand. Okay. A personal brand is what people say about you when you're not there, the feeling you give people when they encounter you in person and online, what you're known for, what you believe in, your mission and your vision, your community, or the type of people you draw in. It's not what you do, it's why you do it. Right? Apple, if you look at Apple's a great brand to study. If you look at any of their branding, any of their advertising, they never tell you about the features of the product. They never tell you about the speed of the RAM or the size of the screen. I mean, those are details when you walk in store for sure, but this is for the wild ones, the square pegs and the round holes, right? You guys know that commercial, and there's a reason why it made you identify with it, because you said, I believe, yes, me, I'm that person. I identify with this. And so a personal brand, how you know what your personal brand is, if you haven't started doing it on purpose yet, is likely what people say when you get a referral. So when someone comes to you and they're a referral from outside of, you know, your current network, say a friend or a family member sends you a referral, and you get that referral, you say, tell me what it is that we're here to talk about today, or tell me what made you desire to connect today. And then they'll tell you their interpretation of what the other person told them. That is the best way to get a finger of the pulse of your personal brand. I had someone ask me just a couple of days ago, he's not building a business, he's off on medical, you know, he's never built his own brand, he's always built his companies, and right now he's not in a place where he can go back to work. And he's like, well, what's my brand? I said, well, what do you believe in? What do you stand for? What values do you show up in the world, right? Maybe it's how you love, maybe it's how you listen. It doesn't have to be a product. This is about fundamental values and how you leave people feeling. Ed Milet says we're always selling happiness. People want how they're going to feel when they work with you. And a lot of people start with their product as the core center, or their service as the core center, instead of the feeling that they're creating and the reason that they got into business in the first place. And if you got into business to make more money, that's totally fine. That's not a bad thing. It's more about your mission, what you want to help see changed in the world. And she's creating an empire. We're on a mission to empower 1 million women with the information, tools, and community to create financial sovereignty in their life. Financial sovereignty for the women globally. That's our mission. That's what we believe in, and that's what we create. And that's the lens that we create everything through. Okay. So who needs one? I love this. I took pictures of all the different feelings, right? And we can check in. I believe everyone needs one, and here's why. We're going to go through the different types of situations where people could use them. So I'm going to use the obvious first, because I know that this is where most of us go, is if you have a business, right? If you want to sell a product or service, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it, what you believe in, how you make them feel. And here's the piece for business owners, because a lot of people say, well, here's the features and benefits of my product. Here's the features and benefits of my brand. Here's, I have this line. I have an exclusive line in my city, and it's better for XYZ reasons. Okay, well, I promise you it's not the features of your furnace or the features of your camera that are the thing. It's about how do they feel when they use it. It's about how do they feel being associated with that brand, right? I actually have no idea how computers or cell phones work, none at all, but I am loyal to Apple. I love the way that it feels, not just being associated with their brand, but using it, right? So when you're building brand preference, okay, so brand preference is when you are the preferred person that they would like to work with on this, right? Not everyone needs what you have today, but we want them to think of you. Instead of Googling success coach for women, I want them to go to Instagram and say Shanda, right? I want that brand preference. So in order to be someone's preferred vendor for however it is that they see you, whatever it is that you're doing, they need to trust and respect you to be willing to give you their money. Trust and respect. We need those things for money to be exchanged. Now, keep this in mind. And I think a lot of people forget this, especially when they're running a business. Think about how people make money. Majority of people trade their time for it. They're out at work working full time. Then they come home and they get their money for the time that they take from their family, from their hobbies. So if they're taking time away from their family, their hobbies, their rest to be able to make this money, and then they give you this money, think about it this way. They need to trust and respect you to be willing to spend time away from their family to be able to work with you. Think about it that way. When we really start seeing how most people are treating money, now there's lots of ways to make leveraged income. And of course, we're going to talk about that today. You don't have to trade time for money, but that is where a lot of customers are going to start at the very least. Okay. Now, here's another reason why I think everyone needs it. I get a couple of buts, right? And I gave both of these to Melanie. So if you have these like, I don't need them because, then just know that you're in good company. I had every excuse in the book, and I have no idea why she put up with me when I was full of them. But I was hungry. So I guess I was just willing to navigate through them. So the first one is I don't have a business. Right? That's a good reason why a lot of people say, I don't need a brand. I don't have a business. I'm not making money online. I'm an hourly employee. I work in a warehouse. I'm retired. So I want to ask you this question. Do you have a cause? Do you have a charity that matters to you? What about a family? One of the things that's really cool about networking, which is what building a brand is it gives you opportunities. It adds value to college applications. It adds value to job applications or recommendations that you give to someone else. If someone has 1 million followers, or they have this brand that I really respect, and they personally recommend someone else, that someone else is going to benefit from it. So think about what your children are going to need in terms of connections and resources. Maybe it's going to help them find a job, or maybe it's going to help them find the right university for whatever it is they want to do. Maybe you get the opportunity to connect them to other people. Maybe your brand can help a family member build their business or create more income for their corporation. And I don't care if your husband is a receptionist, if your brand is sending clients into that company, doesn't that make them a more valuable receptionist? Think about that, right? Who can we help with a brand? If we're known for something, we can help people within that. Now, friends, same thing. Can you promote their business? Can you promote their podcast? Can you promote their charity or their cause? Here's one of the things that I totally underestimated. And Melanie didn't tell me this ahead of time, but I think she just knew that it wouldn't get me out of the gate, but it's got me to stay, is travel plans. I actually have been going back and forth with this person. I have met, I don't know if I've seen him in 10 years, maybe 7. It's been a long time, but we've stayed connected online, and we both like what each other stands for and how we are navigating the world. And he's looking at coming to Panama. And I'm like, hey, here's some tips and tricks and, some places to go, some places that I wouldn't go again. And just being able to make those connections to be educated about travel, find the best local spots from people, make friends and family around the world that you can then go and travel to visit. Like, think about the opportunities as the world gets connected. You have a friend. I have people in New Zealand that I've never met, that I've met through my brand, through social media, some of which are probably on here, that if I went there, they would be like, come to our house for dinner. Let us show you our favorite spots. And I truthfully believe that that's a higher value than most people realize, right? Okay, number two, the second but I have a company or product already, right? So that was me. I was like, well, I'm the radio girl. Like, I just promote the radio station. Here's the reasons to buy radio, and here's why we're the best radio station, and that's what I promote. So I don't need my own brand. And I see this with network marketers the most, or product company owners. So someone like Nike. I'm going to use Nike as an example because I think they've done a really good job of separating their product from their brand. But when I'm specifically talking about for you is why you, right? Nike's a shoe, and there's a lot of companies out there that actually use drop shipping. I don't think Nike's one of them, but I'm pretty sure Fenty Beauty is, right? So Rihanna has this brand of makeup that we trust. Why? Because we like her vibe, we know her name, et cetera, et cetera. But the truth is that same product is being sold through 10 other labels. It's just a white label product. So if that's the case, why do we pay more for the one that the Kardashians created or that something like that, right? It's because we know them. We know their standards. We have a vision for what it is that they would put out in the world. If I could buy your products from someone else or your service from someone else, and maybe they're exactly the same, then I need to know what you're bringing to the table that makes you feel different. Feeling is the secret. Do you have competition? How are they making people feel? Right? I think that it's really smart. I just watched I haven't watched it yet, but that movie about Michael Jordan and Nike, why did they choose him? Why did they associate with him? How did that separate them from Converse, right? So think about that process. Think about how it is that you want people to feel and how you can separate yourself from the competition. Here's the other thing that a lot of people forget is that money is a resource. Time and money, when people choose to spend their money with you, they have to feel something, right? Again, they could go to a restaurant. They don't have to buy what you have. They could go to a drugstore. They don't have to buy what you have. So when you're looking at how you make them feel, if there's somewhere else that's going to make them feel better, then they may choose to take their spending capital into another category completely. So I need to trust you. So that I need to trust that you can help me and trust that you care about me for me to be willing to give you my money. And so this can build so much value to a brand. I actually have products and services that I promote, but my brand is what people buy and the product is what they get. And the way that I treat people in the onboarding process and the ordering process is what gets the order, is what sets me apart from that person going to a different supplier. Okay. So just know that it's amazing what a little bit of love can do. It's amazing what a little bit of community can do. It's amazing what that extra softer parts of your experience can do to add value to your customers. Okay. Now, where do we start? That's the question. Okay. So we see there's value, whether we have a business, whether we have a product, whether we don't, we see there's value in a brand, but where do we start? Okay. So what do you believe in? Is there something like, I believe love should be at the center of everything that we do. I believe that when we love ourselves, when we love who and what we were created to be, and we can love others through the process, then everyone loves to buy and no one loves to be sold. And so I believe in love, right? What do you believe in? Do you have something that's a fundamental core value that you can put into your branding? Okay. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So why did you choose this company, this product? I want to use an example of a lady who may or may not be on here, but she found a product through network marketing that she really loves. And she was in a place in her work situation where she was so stressed out that her health was taking a toll. She's losing her hair. Her body was just not doing well. And then she found this product and she's like, well, maybe I can try it for my hair. And she found personal development. She found a business vehicle that could help her get out of that work environment that was stressing her out. And she finally was able to choose her. And so one of the things that she can do is now say, why am I doing this? Because I believe you should be first in your life. Your health, your wealth, your lifestyle, your joy, that you should be first. And that putting ourselves on a back burner is never going to create anything abundant, and that we don't deserve to be treated like numbers. That's a beautiful reason why someone might join her, right? So think about that. And that's a network marketing example. That's often how that business gets built, is someone finds a product, they love the way it makes them feel, and then they see the business. Some people are opportunistic and they're looking for a business vehicle and they find the product that fits their value systems the best. But if you have a story connected to it, why am I so passionate about helping women create multiple streams of diversified income? Is because I sacrificed so many years of my life for money, and there wasn't even that much at the end of it. And by the end of the day, I was drowning in debt. I was exhausted. My health was going like crazy, and I just didn't see a way out. I was doing everything they taught me how to do. I had the house and the car and the job and it wasn't enough. It wasn't fun. And I was like, if I have to do this for another 40 more years, I'd rather not be here. And so when I found that that's not the only way to make money, that you don't have to sacrifice hundreds of hours, thousands of hours to be able to create freedom, that you can actually enjoy the process of building something very special. And when you have your time and your money, then your life gets to be a unique expression of who you are. Then I want to help people have time and money so they can just be who they are instead of fitting into these boxes and these lies that we've been sold. That's why I do what I do. So maybe it's about your pain and your story and how you found what you do, or maybe it's just about how you believe things should be set up. It doesn't matter. The more that you ask, why am I doing this? Why do I do this? Why do I like this? Why is this my thing? Then you'll get more and more connected to it. Okay. Why do you treat people the way that you do? Is there a reason? Do you have certain standards? Why do you go the extra mile that you always do? Is there a certain reason? Do you have certain standards? Why are you involved in the causes that you're involved in? As She's Creating an Empire, we believe in freedom. We believe in freedom and sovereignty for all. That's why we've helped rescue over 7,000 children from sex trafficking. We have a charity in India that we're very, very passionate about helping free women and children. We do not believe that slavery is okay, whether it is slave to the system, the 9-to-5 system, or a slave in the physical sense. We do not believe in that. We believe in freedom, and that's why we do what we do. So some of what we do is equip you to get out of the rat race, and some of what we do is donate money to the causes that matter and to be able to create this. I am so proud to be associated with a company that has both these pieces and that we're connected to them. So what causes are you involved in, and how does that connect to why you do what you do? So that's a great place to start some great questions. And I know that they can be really intense and there's a lot there. So just know that you're going to have a ton of support here in this community to be able to navigate it. Okay. So how do you communicate that stuff? So it's like, okay, I know I love, I know, but how do I do it? You tell stories. Tell stories that inspire, that connect, that educate, that engage people in where you're taking them. Remember, a picture is worth 1,000 words and videos are worth even more. So engage with people, connect with them. What's the feeling they get from your content, your in-person experience? Stories activate our imagination. Our imagination activates our feelings. So how can you create those stories? How can you tell those stories? Some of it's through documentation, some of it's through storytelling, but that's the best way to communicate, is through stories. Now remember, trust is built with time. So what you want to do as you're building your brand and people are leaning in, they're getting curious, you want to bring them into your ecosystem. This is where email lists, Facebook groups, events like this, following you on social media, coming into your store, you want them to experience more of you. Some people need what you have now. Some people will soon, some people will later, and some people may never, but they may know someone. And so the whole point is that the more that they know you, the more that they remember you, the more that you can leave them with an impression of increase and that they can understand what you do, the more, like I was on a call yesterday with a client who her husband, like she was talking about, I want to get out of the rat race. I'm looking for, I want to make money online. I've been Googling this. I've been searching that. And he's like, why don't you just call Shanda? I was like, yes, that means it's working. You guys know what I do. So that's the idea, is that, I like to call it courting. right? We're going to court them into a marriage-like relationship. It could be just that they know someone. So I want you to bring them into your ecosystem and learn how to use these tools to be able to build trust over time. And then multiple streams. Okay, so this is the thing that is probably one of the most common questions, objections, challenges that I get from women is that they're like, well, I don't want a niche. I don't have this one thing I want to do. I have so many interests. I am a multi-passionate being. I have all these ideas and all these things. And I'm told that I need to focus, but I don't want to be disingenuous. And then I hear multiple streams of income, but I don't want a bunch of small streams. I want big streams of income, and I'm okay with that. And so how do I navigate this? And a personal brand is the answer. If what you do is you have all these different types of ways to serve your client with your why, with your how, with your customer journey, then you're going to be able to meet them where they're at. Not everyone's ready for one-on-one coaching. Not everyone's ready to choose a vehicle. For me, I help people find a vehicle that they can build financial freedom with and help them learn how to drive it, because there's going to be mindsets, skill sets, and belief systems that need to change, right? And I liken it to driving a car, learning how to drive a standard, learning how to go 4x4ing, learning how to drive a Lamborghini on the Autobahn. It's not the same as just driving a regular car, right? So we have to pick the car or the vehicle, and we have to pick the driving lessons. So for me, it's like, I want to meet them where they're at. I want to help them. Do they want to pick a vehicle? Do they need some mindset help? Do they need some coaching? Do they need some tools? Do they need some fuel on their current fire so that they can get the income to start another one? Do they just need to learn how to make their money grow? Like, where are they in the process? And so when you have a brand that is built on your why, then wherever your customer meets you, you can meet them right there with a product or service within it. So some ideas of income streams that can fit within a personal brand: courses, masterminds, group coaching, e-commerce, affiliate marketing, referrals, giving and getting, charities, product and service sales, one-on-one coaching or training, done for you work. So that could be like creating content for someone. It could be time that, podcast editing, something like that, where you're actually doing the work. Collabs, travel influencers. So this is really powerful with travel influencers. You can actually create collaborations with brands and products that'll give you money for promoting their stuff. And some of those are based on results, where, the number of clients you bring in, you make money. And some of them are just based on, posting reach and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of opportunities with collaborations. Speaking in person and online, you can get paid for that. And of course, podcasts as well. So there's a lot of different ways. And we actually have 50 ways to make money from home. And there's several more that I've found in addition to that. Things like teaching English wasn't on there. I'm like, how did I forget that one? But it's totally good. We've got like 55 now. And when you have a personal brand, you can actually, you can have multiple streams, because it's one thing you're building. It's one company. It's one story you're telling. It's just that the how on the back end is a little different for each person. Okay, so what's the next steps? I want to tell you about our momentum group. And the reason I want to tell you about our momentum group is because this is where we help women build businesses, brands, and bank accounts that they love. And it's really about helping you connect with your magic, why you believe things could be better for someone with something you know or have, something you're naturally really good at and very experienced at, or confused and overwhelmed by. It's a really beautiful place to start learning how to tell your story. In our momentum group, we also will teach you how to figure out which colors to put, the images, feelings, words to make people say, hey, I want that. Building a community, how to do the actual posting, even if the algorithms change. We actually help you with the fundamentals of social, okay? How to go outside of your current network to find new people who want what you have. A lot of people are like, well, I have the same people liking my stuff, and I've kind of sold to all my current friends. Like, how do I make new friends? 7 billion people in the world. Let us help you. And specifically, we're going to attract your soulmate clients. So people who are exactly who you dream of spending your days working with, and how to add multiple streams of income within your brand. So I love this image because it's so the vibe that we're not here for. So who is this not for? Someone who doesn't want to make money online. If you don't want to make money online, that's what we do. So it's definitely not for you. Negative Nancy's. If you've got more problems than solutions and you're looking for, all the reasons why something won't work, then you're not going to like us. We're very positive and optimistic and problem solvers. Okay. People who prefer to learn based on mistakes over mentorship. We really are here to shortcut the process, and we want to help you understand the lessons that we've learned the hard way and or had to pay lots of money for. Okay. And then people who want to work 18 to 20 hours a day and sacrifice their health and their family for success. We do not believe in that. We believe that your whole being deserves to thrive, not just your bank account. Okay. Who is it for? I love this picture of Melanie because it's so the energy that we're here for. This is what we do. Okay. So who is it for? Networkers, coaches, realtors, mortgage brokers, salespeople, hairdressers, and other people whose income increases when they have more clients. People with lots of competition, so either other reps within the same company or external companies. New business owners looking to create a launch plan to succeed very quickly. And experienced entrepreneurs who are ready to go to the next level and add zeros to their check. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So that's a little bit about our momentum group. We do, for this month, we are including that in our CEO school as well. If you are in a season where you don't even know, you're like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this is what I want. Or maybe you're like, heck yes, that sounds like exactly what I've been looking for. Then your next step is to book a strategy call. Because here's the thing, we don't have time or the desire to work with everybody. Like I said, there's some people that this is not for. And we're always looking for success stories. So my resume, she's creating an empire. Our resume is all about what results we get. That's why it's so much fun. Like watching Susan pay off $450,000 in debt, launch 3 online income streams, travel a ton. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for our next Sue. Okay. Regina, diversifying her income streams, building her real estate team, adding multiple streams of residual income. That's what we're looking for. Sydney Crows, adding crazy number of zeros to the back of her check to be creating online income for the first time, getting solid on her brand, being invited on podcasts. Like, this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the next success story. We're on a mission to help 100 women crack 100K. And so one of the things that I've realized is that we have to connect with the right people, right? Not everyone's ready for that. Not everyone wants to make 100 grand a year online. And so if we're going to crack, because we are going to crack 100K stories in 2023, then we're looking for the ones that are going to see success. So the next step is a strategy call where we're going to meet together. We're going to go over, what are you up against? What are you building? What's your desires? What do you need? What do we have? Are you a good fit? And if you are, then we'll tell you, of course, about the course of action and what you can expect. But if you're not, we're going to be very sincere, and we're going to give you some freebies just for your time, because we reward people who show up and take time to invest in themselves. So the next step is to book a strategy call. You've got the link right there. I am really excited to see you in this next season of your business, because there's people who there's this saying that says, it may have been done before, but it's never been done by you. What I can tell you is that there's a lot of coaches out there, but there's no one that could do the thing to my soul that gets me to be my best self that Melanie Greenough can do. There's absolutely no one. And I know that just like I'm called, Sue and I were like destined in the stars to work together. There's something about how I am and how she is that we just like this. And it's the same thing with Melanie. And there's people like that for you out there. There's people waiting for you to build your brand, tell your story, and connect them to resources that can help them. And I know it in every ounce of my being. And so I'm really excited for you for really taking ownership of this next year, going through all of the learning curves and helping us navigate that with you, and learning literally from one of the world's top coaches. Melanie is dynamic, and I'm so excited for each and every one of you who get to be in this momentum group and a part of it. And if you haven't, I'm just going to put it out there. There's 3 more spots for Panama. We're doing a women's retreat in Panama at the end of the month. I don't know if you've seen it. I know, Cassie, I'm throwing this last minute, but if you have the link there, I would love for you to share it, because there's 3 spots left, and this is going to be a transformational event. I've just been taking a peek at the agenda, and it is just, it is going to be so good. You will not leave the same person that you show up as. We're going to help you nourish your soul, build your business, and create clarity for the rest of this year. So Rita, the momentum group, you know what? Let's chat about that later. I know we have a strategy call booked. I'll tell you all about it. Okay. And so if you have a chance, if you can make the 25th or 29th work. I 10 out of 10 recommend that you join us in Panama. And if you have any questions about the Momentum Group, about the support system, about what you need, about how this community works, or you want to interview for one of those spots in our Momentum Group, then I want you to just book a strategy call, because that's the next step for you. And I can't wait to meet you. So thank you so much. Make sure you tag a lady that you know needs this in this video. And I will see you next week. Momentum Group students, 25 minutes from now, I'll see you in class. We got some crazy, I'm gonna tell on myself. I'm gonna help you guys this week start learning how to simply and beautifully start collecting emails. We're going to build email lists. We're going to build email lists, and it's not scary. It's not hard, and it's super fun. And we're going to show you exactly how in like 15 minutes you can start building an email list. Okay. So for all of you who have been like, what's next? What's next? How do I do it? I know it felt really overwhelming, but I am going to show you a little bit about how you can get that started so you can really start bringing people closer, and you can start nurturing them and building trust so that you can build your list, you can build your business, you can build your bank account, and build your life just the way you've always dreamed. So I will see you all in 24 minutes now. And thank you for being here. Again, tag someone below that needs to hear this and book your strategy call.